Zinequest. It's a Kickstarter event spoken about in hushed tones on parts of the internet where obscure OSR oligarchs and intrepid NG ingenues gather. The mention of this now somewhat hollowed event evokes a mix of excitement, frustration, and FOMO among designers and backers. In this series, we're going to be breaking down what Zinequest is, the glut of gorgeous games being generated, and why backers and players should care. It's part of an ongoing series we'll be doing for the next 8 weeks, so if you want to stay up to date on all things Zinequest and discover some truly terrific TTRPG content, go ahead and click subscribe. Now, I don't like doing that at the top. I feel like a sellout. So when I went online and I asked folks what their questions about Zinequest were, the number one response I got was, what is Zinequest? So for those of you unfamiliar with the term, a zine is a small book, usually an A5 or half of a US letter format piece of paper. It has a simple set of staples serving as a binding. The idea really grew out of 70s skate culture, but quickly became popular with other hobby industries, with tabletop gaming being the main one among them. Historically, zines were oftentimes created in just black ink, or hand-created, or home-printed, or assorted and assembled in other inexpensive ways. Lots of zines were made this way, but many are now modern marvels of art mashed into this minuscule format. In the early days of RPGs, this format was common even for professional level publications. Rules were simple and short, budgets were tight, and so this inexpensive model of printing was not only common, it was the norm. No full-page, heavy books packed with color art, just light zines with rules, tables, and some evocative images. That's what a zine is, but what is Zinequest? Now, no matter how much it might feel like it or how many times I might joke about it, it's not a competition to see how many zine RPGs you can back on Kickstarter in the month of February. But it is an event started by Kickstarter to promote small, typically independently published tabletop RPG content in zine format. To officially be part of Zinequest, designers are invited to make an RPG product that's just printed in one color in the zine format that I discussed above, and to run their projects for just 2 weeks in the month of February. It's that simple. These rules have been the same for 3 years now, and it looks like they're the permanent rules for what we can expect from the future in Zinequest. So next month, we'll see scores, if not hundreds of projects launching in this format on Kickstarter, or at least pretty close to it. It's a common joke in the design community that the rules of Zinequest oftentimes feel more like guidelines, but we're actually seeing Kickstarter start to crack down and push back on that, which I think is great. Some people complain a little bit about this, but I think it's Kickstarter's way of telling us overall that it's really more about capturing the feeling of zine culture rather than the strictly rigid requirements. Zinequest started in 2019, and according to the team at Kickstarter, boasted 108 projects, with 100 of those funding successfully. It grew even larger in 2020 with 286 projects, of which 260 successfully funded. That's a 92% and 91% rate of funding from year to year. So why is that? A few things. Unlike larger projects, 20 to 44 page zines are a lot easier to write, print, and build, and a lot of tabletop game designers have modules or even full systems that are easy to produce in that format. This year we can probably expect to top out with a little over 300 Zinequest projects. Now, I love Zinequest. Of the 286 games funded last year, I supported about 15% of them. I also ran my first successful Kickstarter last year during Zinequest when I launched and funded Beards and Beyond, a very hairy RPG. If you're a fan of indie TTRPG content, and I hope you are, Zinequest is like a mix of Christmas and the Super Bowl. It's a time where a community of players, creators, and designers get together to make amazing things. Some of the biggest names and bright emerging stars of tabletop culture spend a month launching fun, simple projects and sharing them with us. Also, we get lots of stuff, and we're pretty worried about our bank account at the end of the month. Here at Plus One, we're committed to bringing you coverage, reviews, and actual play content of great indie TTRPGs. Over the next month, we'll be doing weekly and sometimes even more often videos covering all of the Zinequest projects that we can in 10 minutes or less on this new series, ZineQuesting. We have another video that we're dropping with this one featuring 10 of the projects that we're most excited about for Zinequest 3, and tomorrow we'll be dropping another video focused on making zines for anyone interested in getting in on the action. Also, if you're looking for a place to talk about ZineQuest, I'd highly recommend the RPG Zines group on Facebook or Zetchio's ZineQuest Discord. On Twitter, you can also just use the hashtag ZineQuest if you want to get in on the conversation. You can always tag us at Plus One Exp on any social media platform. Until next time, I'm Tony Vasinda, and I'm ZineQuesting.